Um, you are live. Okay, awesome stuff. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? I'm trusting that you're all doing well. It is a Saturday, and as it is on a Saturday, we come out and this is Pass It On. Yeah, so welcome. I am trusting that you're doing all right. Today, we're going to be talking specifically on a topic that I love talk about. And a lot of people have been asking me about this. How do you buy properties with no money? So I want to spend the next couple of minutes talking about how to buy your first rental property with no money. No money, down properties. Okay. In the next 30 minutes or so, like it is. We talk about it here on Pass It On. Why do we call this Pass It On? It is because I have been learning how to do property. And with that, I have had to learn a little bit. And from learning, I can pass on the information to you. And likewise, you can pass it on. The reality of life is that you today, you already know something that someone else doesn't know, and out of that you can pass on that you can pass on that information, and that's why we call this session here on a Saturday evening, Pass It On. So ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching me from tonight, let me know where you're watching us from. We're just doing the greetings so that we can get everybody into the room. And those that are watching us on Instagram, hey, how's it going? It is I, your boy TJ from M5 Property Addicts. We come here on Saturday, every Saturday at 7 p.m. And we are talking about real estate, property, as we call it here in South Africa. And I do property. So I buy rental properties and I rent out rental properties throughout South Africa. I've got a business that is called the M5 Property Addicts. And that business, we have properties in Potchefstroom, in Durban, in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, and in Pretoria. Yeah. And I've been doing this for the last 5 to 6 years. We've got around about just over 200 tenants across the country. We've got just an above 350 student accommodation. We are busy with some projects right now where we are actually going to have an additional 100 students next year as the season comes up. All right. So as you are joining me, let me know where you're joining me from. Wherever you are joining us from, let me know. It would be great to hear from you so that we can always connect with you. And someone else is saying, "Hey, I am from Bloemfontein, they say. Mkhababa, they say. In Klerksdorp. The guys that are out in Bloemfontein, how's it going? Guys that are out in Klerksdorp, Northwest, how's it going? Cape Town, how's it going? Limpopo East. Okay, I didn't know that there's a Limpopo East, West, North, but I'm sure obviously yes. How's it going? Durban. Where in Durban are you watching us from? Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, your boy TJ. I am coming out live straight to talk about property. And tonight, we are going to be talking specifically about how you can buy your first rental property with no money. I've done it, and I'm sure you can do it too, right? So remember, this is what we call Pass It On. And Pass It On come out to you every Saturday at 7 p.m. all the way to 7:30. Okay, good stuff. Right. So I'm going to continue in this conversation. So I'm going to give you guys a short story of how I started off my real estate game. And I started off around about 6, 7 years ago, the right way. Okay. I started off in property in the last 5 to 6, 7 years ago, the right way. When I say the right way, what do I mean? I'd long bought my first property where I used to stay in about maybe 12 years before that. And was it a property that was a good property for an investment perspective? No, it was just a house where I moved in and I stayed with my beautiful wife and now with our kids. And when I bought that property, was it the right property Did I buy it in the right structures? All of these questions now I started asking myself a few years later after I started learning doing property the right way. So here, what I'm wanting us to talk about today is not to talk about that first property that you are going to be living in, but it's your first rental property with no money. No money. That's what I'm talking about here, right? And this is what I want to give you guys. So now that you know my background of that, I mean, I had spent maybe, let me just see, uh, 3 million, 5 million. So at average, before I started doing properties the correct way, I'd spent about 7 million rand in properties. And I thought I was investing, but I wasn't. All I was doing is I was actually buying properties and I was heavily subsidizing with the bank. What do I mean by that? So I would buy the properties, and out of that, the I would be paying on top of what I need to pay for at the bank. I would pay some more money, some more money. And a lot of people I know that they think that that's investing. It's not. What is investing? Investing is when something that you have invested in, it might be a property, it might be a car, whatever it is that you've invested in, it's giving you money. That's what I call an asset. So an investment is giving you something. An investment should put money in your pocket, right? Not take away. If it is taking away money out of your pocket, then that's a liability. Liability, okay? It is very good for you to understand these terminologies because at the end of the day, you need to learn that terminology. If you don't know that terminologies, then you're not in the right space for investing. Okay, so how do you then buy your first property with no money at all? So I'm gonna give you guys a short story. There was just some background of what I do. So I bought a property not so long ago, and this property is the only property where I've had to put in my own money, and I put in 1,000 rand. Okay, so in my entire career of the last 5 to 6 years, let's just call it 6 years, I've only put 1,000 rand of my own money. Yeah, 1,000 rand of my own money with all these portfolios that you now see today. Where we have 200 students, 200 tenants, 350 students, across the country. I've only put in 1,000 rand of my own money. So how did I do it? And today I want to show you guys how you can do it, because anyone can do it if you are willing to learn. All right? Who is willing to learn? In the next 15 minutes, give me a yes in the comments. So wherever you are watching me from, in the comments, give me a yes. Are you ready to learn? Okay. Give me a yes if you are ready to learn. All right. Wherever you are watching me from, whether it is on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, give me a yes. Okay. Awesome stuff. I see some guys on the Instagram, they're saying, hey, TJ, how did you do it? I'm going to tell you now. You need to get a pen and paper so that you don't miss it. Okay. Right. Awesome stuff. I see a couple of people that are responding. Well done. Well done for responding. Okay, cool. So we're going to go hard on this. Whilst I'm teaching you all of this, I just need you to make sure that you don't miss anything. Ask the question. So at the end of this, I'm going to open up for questions, and then I'll answer the questions. Okay. So this is a short. Look at it as a energy shot. Boom, on how you can buy your first rental property with no money, and out of that you can go and do this on your own, right? If I've been able to do this, you can do it. So backstory. So when I started off, I had no money at the time. I had come into debt around about 5 million, and I'd gone into another business, my property rental business. So this is a book that I kind of like. This is a book that I wrote, which is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. Yeah, so it's a hard book. You can get it on my website that says tauraijack.com. The reason why I'm showing you this book is because within this book, it's for free, by the way, right? So this book is for free. You can grab it on my page for free. You just need to pay for delivery. The reason why I'm telling you about this book is because I want to show you that at the time when I was down and out, that's when I was now learning property. Okay. I was in debt with 5 million, but at the same time, I was learning about property. So the first thing that you need to be doing is that it is very important to learn. Very important to learn. If you don't know at the moment what we are talking about, to say you can buy the properties with no money, and you're thinking, oh, flip, this can be done. It's because you just don't know. It's not in your awareness, right? There are plenty of people that are doing this every day, buying properties, increasing their portfolios with no money. How different are you that you're not able to do the same? You can do it. Okay. So now, when I started off, definitely I had no money of my own because obviously I was, you know, I was totally down and out. I'd lost around about 5 million. And out of that, what basically happened was that I went into a bad deal in terms of property. I bought a chicken farm. I didn't know how to do chickens. And I made some good money out of it in the beginning whilst I was learning. And then thereafter, boom, I was hit with a virus. And that farm, literally, I lost close to around about 5 million. I lost around about 7 million. Eventually, we sold off the farm and we were down to around about 5 million. So my wife and I, we lost that money. But in the same breath, I was now beginning to learn property. So that's the first thing that you need to figure out. You need to give your time to learn. Yes, you can go and buy properties for free with no money down, but you need to learn how to do it. So you need to be open to learning. Okay, that's the first thing. So I had gone out, and I remember at this time, there's a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you guys know him. I'm on my desk, so I'm looking for his book. And the guy called Robert Kiyosaki, at the time, he had a training school that is called Legacy. And they had come down to South Africa. And I was part of that class in 2016 in December. I went into that class and I spent my Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days of training. And whilst I was in that class, my mind was opened up. Poof! Because as they were teaching, I started understanding, oh, flip, this is so cool. Oh, flip, I can do this. But the terminology was so different at the time because they were talking about United Kingdom and everything else in the British space. So I had to translate everything into our own market in South Africa on how does it work. And eventually I figured it out with some Google search, with understanding some attorneys and things like that. And I started going out to go and look for properties. So the first thing that you need to do is to learn how to do it. Okay. Then the second thing is that I started taking action. So I started going out there to look for the properties that I had learned what to do. And when I started finding these properties, I would do numbers. There's a terminology that is utilized that is called running the numbers. So I would run the numbers. So what is running the numbers? When you buy a property at X price, you got X expenses, will you be making profit? That's the bottom line of it. So you're buying a property at X, you're subtracting all of your expenses, and are you making profit? Or you can work it the other way around, where you're saying, I need to buy this property at X, right? So if I'm buying it at X, that means that I'm putting in an offer at X. And if I add in these expenses, will I make profit? And if the answer is yes, then that means that your offer price of X is good. Make sense? Right, makes sense. Now, obviously, there's lots and lots of things that you need to add in into your expenses, with all of those things, to make sure that it is profitable. So if you've never done this before, then obviously all of this is gibberish, right? And that's what the training was all about. So I spent 3 days. I paid good money for it to be in the training. And out of that, I started going out there to look for the properties. So I had action. So that's the third thing that you're going to be doing, which is taking action. The fourth thing is obviously you need to be running numbers. Now, this might not come natural to a lot of people, and because not everyone is just good when it comes to running numbers, right? And we give you templates and things like that so that you can be able to run the numbers, okay? And so that it's simplified. That's what we do at M5 Property Varsity, which is a school that we do have. Now, I've given you all of these things, but now I want to give you a story of a property that I bought, which was my first property that I bought the right way, but with only 1,000 of my own money. And up until today, that is the only 1,000 that I have put in money into. Okay. So this was a 2-bed, 1-bath that I bought. And I bought this property for 160,000 Rand. It was on the market for around about 390. And I then went on to negotiate for 160,000. And I bought that property for 160. And I was scared when I put in that offer because I knew very well that I didn't have the money. But at the time, I had a coach, right? That's something else that you need to take note of. I had a coach, a mentor, someone else who had gone out and they've done this before me. They were doing this every day. And I showed him the deal and I said, my guy, this is a good deal that I've got. And he said to me, yes, it is a good deal, but what you basically need now, or what you are missing out, is now the money part. And out of that, I needed to have the money part of it. Okay. So how much money did I need to have? 160, because I was buying the property for 160, but I didn't have any of the 160. My coach at the time says to me, we will find the money. And within his networks, he was able to find someone for me who became my investor, right? Who became my investor. This was my first time of now understanding what an investor is, or what does an investor look like, right? And the guy literally came in and he says, yes, I've got some money. He had about R1 million, and I was putting a deal on the table where it was 160,000. And on the offer to purchase, they needed a deposit. And I put in a deposit of R1,000 at the time. Okay. And they accepted it. Right. And I know for some of you, they're like, whoa, how can you put R1,000? Remember, an offer to purchase is a contract that is agreed with two people. What you put in on the contract is what is agreed, right? So you might have an estate agent, and that estate agent is the mediator. If the estate agent says no, because you got a mediator, then it's not going to work. I call those people the greasy boy, right? So if your greasy boy is not working with you, then the deal is not going to work. So you need to make sure that your greaser, your estate agent, your broker is working with you to grease the deal. That's what it means, right? Because when you're negotiating, there's going to be friction now. You are saying 160, the other one is saying 390. So now there's friction. And between the two of you, you need someone else who's going to come in, put in a little bit of grease so that it can grease and it can work, right? That's why I call them the greaser, okay? Does it make sense, yeah? No, I think I like it. I like it for the fact that it's making sense. Hit me up somewhere there. Give me a yes if this is making sense, what I'm talking about, okay? The greaser, the guy who is going to negotiate on your behalf, okay? That guy is so important. He can make or break a deal. Do you understand what I mean? If you're on Insta, give me a yes if that's making sense, or give me some hearts if it's making sense. And down here, if you're on wherever you are watching me on YouTube or Facebook, just give me a yes if it's making sense that you need a greaser, someone who's going to negotiate, or someone who's going to make sure that the negotiation part of it, the greasing part of it, is being smoothened, right? So there I am now. I've put in my 160. I've got my investor here now. By the way, I also paid for my coach, right? So I paid for that guy to be my coach, and he showed me the ways of getting an investor. And the investor came in with 159,000, and then boom, we closed the deal, right? So now we own the property, okay? And now we own the property. How did the investor know that this was a good deal? Number one, I came in with what is called a proposal. So you got to know how to do a proposal. What is a proposal? A proposal is I put in the deal in a way right up. In a way, I had to explain who I am. I had to explain the nature of the deal, how his money was going to come in and how his money was to come out, and how secure was it going to be. Make sense? Good. Now, having said that, he then understood the deal and he liked me as a person. And he's like, this guy, I can do business with him. Our terms and conditions of the deal, well, that's what's between me and him, right? But terms and conditions of that deal can go either way. You can go 50-50, 50, 10, 90. It doesn't matter. What matters is that someone else is. What is the best return when you have no money in the deal? 1 rand is good because you've got no money in it. 10 rand is good. 50% of the deal. It is still good because you had no money in the deal. Yeah? Okay. So we jump on now. We start talking about the 159,000 that he brought in. It was secured with the actual property. And we went on now to renovate the property as I had put in the proposal to say it's going to cost us X amount of money. Yeah. And out of that, I then also had to put in the proposal how much we were either going to sell the property if we were going to sell it, or how much we were going to rent the property and where we're going to make profit. So we had a middle ground. We both understood what we were talking about. And out of that, it was my first time of meeting an investor. And ever since then, I've always been working with investors. I bring in the deal on the table and people come in, and together I go out there to make the deals work. And out of it, I am putting no money in the deal. Yeah, but I'm still in the deal. And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, you can get into to be buying your first rental property with no money at all. So, in other words, I could have bought this property for 160,000, renovated it for 50,000 with his own money, and I could have now refinanced the property in my own name or in my own company, and I could give him back his 210 with a bit of interest. Yeah. Does it make sense? It makes sense. Awesome stuff. What I'm going to do right now is I am going to go through into your questions. If you do have any questions, just hit me up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I've just been talking about right now, it is something that I am going to be teaching. I've got a class that I'm going to be teaching right at my last day of training people this stuff. So I'm gonna have a 2 days training. I'm not telling you this so that you can come to my training. No, we are doing advertising elsewhere, and people who are wanting to come through, they will come through and attend. So, but if you want to come through, you can come through. Basically, what it is a 2 days training program, and you can learn the stuff more in detail. And it is going to be on the, what day is it going to be? On the 11th and the 12th of December. You can come in and join us. It's going to be online and it's going to be in person, right? So you can choose whether you're going to be buying for online or in person. And out of that, you can learn the stuff here that I've just spoken about. The stuff that I've just spoken about. We teach this stuff more in depth on how to do it. And you can then grow your property, okay? So I'm gonna go into a couple of questions, and I'll answer a few questions, particularly on what we spoke about now, which is how do you buy your first rental property? Okay, how do you buy your first rental property with no money? Yeah, so I've told you my story, how I've done it, and for some of you who follow me, you see I'm always doing deals, and this is how I do them. I can teach you that stuff. All you need to do is to pitch up in a class. That's all, and then I'll teach you, right? I might even feed you as well, hey, when you come into the class. But tonight, it's not about that. Tonight, I want to help you so that I can answer one or two of your questions. And the guys that are on Insta, I am going to be going through onto those guys, and we can talk about them, right? We can talk about them. So, any questions that you've got, let me know those questions. I am going to jump in into answering any of those questions that you do have. And right, we're gonna start with the guys that are on Facebook. The guys that are on Facebook. Let's go in and answer. By the way, this is Pass It On. I come out to you every Saturday between 7 o'clock and 7:30, and we talk about properties. Yeah. And you can ask us any questions around specifically what we discussed or anything else that you might want to ask. And I am going through to the guys that are on Facebook right now. And boom, there is no questions. The guys that are on Facebook are good to go. They get what I'm talking about. Good on you, guys. Good on you. Maybe you are too scared to ask the question. If that's okay, that's okay. If you're too scared to ask, maybe you can come in and ask in the class. Okay, so in the class you can come in and ask. Right now, let me go on to YouTube. Right, let me see the guys on YouTube whether there is a question. Right, Instagram, I am coming to you just now. I am coming to you just now. YouTube, nobody has got a question. Oh, wow. Today is a lucky day for me. Okay. Well, no, someone else who is on YouTube. Tande Kile, how's it going? Tande Kile, how's it going? How's it going? Good evening and welcome to Pass It On. And you say, thank you, Mr. Jack. You're welcome. You're welcome. Can't wait to buy my first property. How do you write the proposal? Good stuff, Tandikile. That's the stuff that we're going to be teaching in the class. So in the bottom line of it is that the proposal needs to speak about you. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is obviously you need to demonstrate, you need to show the next person who you are, right? So who are you? So that's what you speak about in the proposal. Then the second thing is you write about the deal. What does it do? How can they secure their money? And how can they make sure that they get their returns? That's how you do the proposal and you show the numbers. But if this is not clear, you can come through to the class, Tandikile. The class is going to be 1,997. I've just dropped a link there, and you can go in and check it out for yourself. And that class is called Grow My Business. Grow My Business. So I want you to start this business so that you can grow it. Okay. Whilst I'm still on YouTube, Lindywe. Hey, how's it going, Lindywe? Welcome to Pass It On a Saturday. Whoop, whoop. And by the way, when I say you can pass this on, I do mean it that you can obviously get the link, especially on the YouTube. You can get this link and you can pass it on to someone else and they can learn just like you are learning tonight. Lindywe, I'm going to come to you now. Your question is, how did you negotiate the property down to 160,000? Okay, that's a very good question, Lindywe. Now, I'm going to give you the recipe, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the recipe works like that all the time. You can zhoosh up the recipe. It means that you can put in a little bit of more salt or less and that kind of thing. But negotiation, it's a wide array of things. And Tandikile, I am sure if you do have kids at home, you are always negotiating all the time with your kids. So the principle of negotiating is the same way you give and you take. You give and you take, right? So in this particular project that I was talking about, the 161, where the selling price was 390, the bottom line of it is that this person who owned this property didn't want it. They actually didn't want the property anymore. They had another problem, and I knew how to solve that problem. And when I solved that problem for them, they gave me this property for 160. So what am I talking about here, Tandikile? The bottom line of negotiating is to understand what your negotiator, the person that you're negotiating with, your counterpart, what is their weakness or what is it they are looking for. If you understand what they are looking for, you can give them what they are looking for. And over and above that, it might not be about money. Okay? So negotiating is not always about money. It might be other things. And within those other things, you can then be able to bank what you're looking for on this particular project. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. All right. Awesome. I'm going to move on, Tandikile, with that. But again, Tandikile, we teach this stuff in the class, and we go through over quite a lot of negotiation tactics where you can also learn how to do it. The guys that are on the Insta, I am coming through to you, but some of you are asking the question now, how do I sign up? How do I sign up? Boom. I've just sent you the link now, which is m5propertyaddicts.com. Grow my business. That's the class that's coming up on the 11th and the 12th of December. That's the last training for the year that I'm going to be having. All right. Awesome. Let me go to crazy Lavnatic. Crazy Lavnatic. Okay, let's see. Can you talk about buying property when you have bad credit, or is it not possible? Well, we have just spent the last 30 minutes talking about this. So, crazy, whether you have bad credit or good credit, what we spoke about exactly within the last 15-20 minutes, everything that we spoke about, you can buy the property with no money at all, or with no credit record at all, or if you're a foreigner, or if you are blacklisted, right? It is the same principle. You'll be able to buy the property without putting in your own money. Here is the other thing that I want to also talk about. For some people, they do think that buying properties with no money is you're going to use the bank's money. Yes, that is correct. Okay, the bank's money is not your money, it's other people's money. However, I also want to state the fact that the bank does not have money, right? The bank does not have money. The bank is a wholesaler. The bank sells money on behalf of its other clients. So at the moment, I can safely say that a lot of you have money at the bank right now. As I speak, your money is at the bank, whether it is 20,000, 100,000, 500,000, it is in the bank. The bank looks at you as an investor. Because what the bank does now with that money, they then take that money and then they sell that money to other people like me, or other people that do investment, property investments, for instance. They go and get a loan, a car loan, a credit card loan. Remember, the bank has no money of its own. They actually depend on external people to put in money in the bank, and then they take the same money and then they sell it. So the bank's existence, coexistence, is to sell money. So how best can you make sure that the bank is always going to give you money? That's a topic for another day. The guys on the Insta, I am coming to you to answer all of your questions just now. Right. Okay. Let us go on. Whilst I'm still at YouTube, I am going to see there is no other comments. Jabberwocky, welcome to M5, and this is Pass It On, and we call this Pass It On because I pass on the information of things that I am learning in doing and learning in the books. And I do this all the time because I'm buying properties all over the country, and I pass it on to you. And as I pass it on to you, you can pass it on to others. So welcome, Jabberwocky. Okay, and the comment here that's coming in from Jabberwocky is loves it. They lend it out because you don't need it all at once. It's so crazy, right? That's it, girl. That's it, girl. Right. Tandikile is asking, you also mentioned a coach. Yes, I did mention a coach, and you can get a coach anytime. But Tandikile, we can see you in the class there, so that if you want to progress and get a mentor or a coach, we are greatly able to help you on your journey to be a successful investor. Right. I'm going to go on to Instagram. I haven't forgotten about you guys on Instagram. Uncle TJ is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is Pass It On. We talk about real estate, and tonight we are talking about how best can you buy your first rental property if you, without even putting in any of your own money, right? I did it on my first deal. I put in 1,000 Rand. I've told you that story. And I am also convinced that if I teach you the tricks, you can go out there and you can do it. Right. Welcome, Tyrone, Yusuf, Tim, Mapekula. Right. Tim Kulu, how's it going? Nicola. Okay, so let me ask the guys that are on Insta, is there a particular question? Okay, right. Someone else is asking, what is the name of the book? Oh, my book is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. Boom. From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. You can get it on my website, and my website is www.tauraijack.com. That's where you can get it for free, by the way. For free. You can get it for free. Okay, right. The guys that are on YouTube, you can still send us some comments or questions. I will come back to you there. But otherwise, I am checking in here the questions from the guys that are on Instagram to see how best I can also answer them, because I've just been spending time from the guys that are on, yeah. Right. Someone else here. Byron, welcome to Pass It On. He says, Uncle, hey, how's it going? Yeah, how's it going to you too? I am doing great. Thank you for this topic. This is where I am stuck. Where do I find these investors? Byron, to tell you the truth, these investors are everywhere, right? You might even have them in your own home or, next door. They are everywhere. The trick to it, Byron, is you need to understand how to look for them, okay? This is like almost when you are around about 12 years old. Well, 12 years old these days could be not right, because we have seen quite a lot of girls being pregnant and with boys. So I'm going to say it's like when you're 10 years old, you don't know how to date. So you actually don't know how to ask a girl or a male to say, let's go out. So it's not in your sphere, right? If you're to come to the class, I will raise your awareness in terms of how do you actually find the investors, okay? Because it's a skill that you need to learn. When you learn the skill, you'll then be able to actually identify that investors are everywhere. It's how you approach them that can also get you the price for them to invest with you. And it's when you invest, and it's also about when you engage them, because the more you engage with them, that's when they are also going to give you to become, they'll become invested to you. So I think you are not stuck. You are here, you are learning. You can take it up, you can take a step further. You can come into the class, and I can help you a little bit further there whilst we are learning in the class. I hope what I've given you so far, it helps you. This is not by any no means to force you to come to class. No, it is to help you to get to your next level of how do you find the investors. So if you got that proposal that we spoke about, and now you need to knock on doors, but there's a skill that you need to learn on how to do that. And definitely I can never be able to do it in a short period of time that I'm going to be doing, but it's something that's coming, we will talk about. Hey, Mr. Sabalisiti. Okay, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Sabalisiti. Sabalisiti. Yeah. I think it's got a Genesis choir, in it. Sabalisiti. Yeah. Welcome to Pass It On, brother. How's it going? I am all the way in Dundee. All right, good. Dundee. That's in KZN. Do you think I could get investors with property this side? Yes, you can. Again, it just depends on what kind of a property it is. If there is some passive income in it or if there is some good return out of it, I think that anyone will be able to invest. Okay, welcome, private dot dine. Welcome to M5. And this is Pass It On. So welcome to Pass It On. When is the class starting? Sorry, I missed that. Well, the class is going to be on the 11th and the 12th of December. It's going to be a weekend. You will be able to watch it either online or in the class, right? So for the whole 2 days, we will stream live and you can learn there. So private, good to see you. We will see you in the class. And the website that you can get the ticket, it is www.m5propertyaddicts.com/grow my business. That's the website that you need to jump to. All right. Please explain a building loan. Building loan. Simply put, a building loan is that you need to have a property that is lent, and out of that, you have all the particulars that you now need to build. So, which is a plan, it's been approved, and all of those things. You go to the bank, and the bank then gives you tell to them that you're looking for a building loan. And with a building loan, generally they would ask you who's the developer. So you need a builder. And normally what would happen is you need to put in, you're going to build for, let's say, 100,000, right? So the bank would say, put in your own 1,000. When you exhaust that 1,000 and you get to a certain level, tell us. And with that, they'll send out their inspectors. They'll inspect to see, yes, you have for sure spent 1,000 rand on putting in the slab. They will then give you 1,100 for obviously doing the work that you've done. And you take that money and then you can build again to window level, and you could do another draw. So a draw basically means that your first 1,000 that you've now taken out of the bank now is going to charge you like you have a loan with them. So they're going to charge you interest on it. So now you now need to pay that. Up until you finish your house and you sign it off, the bank then pays you full percent of that, your contractor that is. And out of that, you now have your property and you now have your building loan, which is exhausted now, and you have a normal bond where you're now going to be paying the normal interest. I hope that is satisfactory to you there. Come on, hello, and welcome to Pass It On. Okay, David Mukodzi, welcome to Pass It On. How much is it to have a coach or a mentor in property, especially for such deals or your first property? With me, or should I say with the company that we do property investments in, the school that we do have, a coach is 997, but we do not recommend for you to just get a coach without the education, because it's kind of like just going round and round in circles. Get the education first, then when you start getting stuck in implementing the education, then get a coach. I hope that makes sense. But otherwise, a coach is 997. Reach out to us at info@M5 Property Addicts for us to be able to give you that. Right. I'm still at Instagram checking out all the other questions. Okay, good. I think all the questions from Instagram sorted, but I will come back to you just now. Let me just go back to YouTube, my favorite channel, YouTube. YouTube, yes, thank you. By the way, all of you guys that are watching from YouTube, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and so that whenever we are going live, you can see it and your phone or your device can pick up and you don't have to miss out anything at all. All right, the guys that are out on YouTube, even you guys that are on Insta, migrate to YouTube so that it is just easier for us to connect with you. Right now, Samuel, welcome to M5, and this is Pass It On. Good evening, sir. Oof, I like it when they call me sir. Yeah. Yes, good evening to you too, sir. Right. Thanks for your selfie. Your selfie? Yeah, no, this is not selfie. This is me not trying able to read the only English. You know, when you're being called sir, you get a little bit of a complex, a little bit. Yeah. On a serious note, Samuel, thanks a lot. And your comment says, thanks for your selfless efforts of overflowing knowledge to aspiring property investors like us. Look, Samuel, had it not been for someone else that also inspired me and educated me, this would have never happened. And this is my only way of giving back to others. And this is why we call this Pass It On. It is freely available to pass it on the information. But thanks a lot. I appreciate your kind words. Mola, how's it going? Welcome to Pass It On. And you ask the question, can someone do a cash out refinance on a property? Whoo, I like that topic. It's my favorite topic. I'm going to give you an example, Mola, and this is going to be a little bit of a bigger deal. I hope that the numbers are not going to skew a little bit, but let's follow each other. Not so long ago, I bought a property for 3 million rand. Okay, I bought a property for 3 million rand. And out of that, we renovated this property. And when we renovated it, we now had a cash flow of around about 88,000 rand. Okay, this is gross income on the property, right? Sorry, I called it cash flow at the beginning. So it had a gross income of 88,000, right? I evaluated the same property with a property evaluator, not a real estate agent, but a property valuator, someone who is qualified to appraise properties. And they evaluated the property for 5 million rand. 5 million rand, 5.2. Okay. And I then went to the bank and I asked the bank to give me 4 million. Okay. On the same property. And they gave me 4 million. Why? Because my rental is able to sustain the 4 million rand finance that I'm going to get. So yes, Mola, it is very possible that you can do a cash out on a refinance of a property. I've just given you an example there of a property that we recently did. We bought it for 3 million, renovated it, put in some tenants, and out of that, we've got an income now generating 88,000. And out of that, we evaluated the property. Evaluator gave us a 5.2 million. The bank came out and they agreed with the valuation, and we got 4 million out of that property. Okay, makes sense. Okay, good, awesome stuff. Right. Now let's go on to Jackie. Jackie, what's happening, Jackie? All right, Jackie, you are again the guys that are on Insta. Happy for you guys to ask any questions. I am just having a conversation here with the team that is out on YouTube, and we are running on overtime. Uncle TJ likes to do overtime. Yeah, we were meant to have closed this show at 7:30, but I am here. By the way, nobody has asked me how come I am not as bright as normal. It's because we've got load shedding, so the lights are not that bright. But I am glad that you can still see me and we can still be able to converse. Let me go on to Jackie. Jackie Chan. I like that. Like Jackie Chan? Really? Okay. Jackie, welcome to Pass It On. And Pass It On is where we are out live at 7 p.m. and all the way to 7:30, giving you all the necessary information for you to grow your property business. Yeah. Advice on how to get into property and gaining knowledge and experience at the age of 19. Jackie, come to the class. That age doesn't matter. All right. Age doesn't matter. One of my youngest students, he is 21 years old. He already has 2 properties out in Port Elizabeth. It's got a new name now. Still trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Okay. Right. Someone else. Neville, how's it going, brother? Neville, welcome to Pass It On. Is that an hourly rate? I think you're asking about the coaching. Yes, that's an hourly rate, 997. Yeah. Alvin, how's it going? Welcome. Alvin is asking the question, welcome to Pass It On. Evening, TJ. I recently resigned and I have about 25,000 to invest in property. Any advice? Yes. Invest in yourself. Get the education, and out of the education, you will be able to do plenty plus. Okay, you'll be able to do plenty plus. So educating, get yourself educated. That's the best I can give you. Service support. Welcome to Pass It On. Someone is called service support. Yeah, I like that. Service support is say, evening TJ and everyone on the live. May you please give us few pointers what will be covered on the Grow Your Business workshop. Check it out on the landing page, the link that I have sent you there. You'll be able to see everything else that will be covered in there. Basically, I'm taking you from nothing so that you can start your business and you can make that business work utilizing business secrets and property, combining that and combining business and combining property, and for you to be able to start from knowing nothing to actually be buying all of your properties with no money or with money. Or also, if you do have your own properties that you already have, how can you scale? How can you scale? So how can you grow bigger? That's what we're going to be talking about. Some of the things that we're going to be covering is about the structures that you need to do, and all of those nice things. But check out on the website that we sent out on www.m5propertyaddicts.com/grow my business. You'll be able to see everything else that we're going to be covering there. For 1,997. All right. Service support. We will see you in the class. Tammy, how's it going? Tammy Mavuso. Hey, I used to work with someone else with the surname of Vuso. Good peoples, they are. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Pastor and Tammy. Evening, say, as a 20-year-old, can I use my parents' house equity to start investing? And how would I go about it? Good question, Tammy. It's got nothing to do with age, guys. I have seen 19-year-olds who are making more money than I am making. Okay, so don't look at this age thing. It's got nothing to do with that. Come into the class. Let's help you to do it the correct way. Let's help you so that you can get it right. And out of that, it doesn't matter your age, your gender, your color of your screen. You can do this. Okay. All right. Okay. Awesome. Someone else who's on Facebook, it says, Mr. TJ, I want to know, when I pay for mentorship, do I pay every time I book a mentor? Yes, sir. It is pay as you go. All right. I suggest that come into the class first, learn how it is done before you start looking for a mentor. Right. That's what you need first. Neville, how's it going? Welcome to Pass It On. For buying properties on auctions, given the upfront payment required on the fall of the hammer, is it possible to finance the balance from a bank? Yes, I have seen that people are doing that. However, it depends with the auctioneer. So for some auctioneers, they have a condition where the cash, or should I say, at the fall of the hammer, that money needs to be paid within. Maybe some auctioneers, they give you 2 hours. I've seen some auctioneers, they give you 24 hours. It all depends with your auctioneer there. But the bottom line is that if you line up your bank and that money becomes available to you, then yes, you can line up your bank together with the auctioneer. It can be done. It's about lining it up. So it is possible. I've seen some mates of mine doing it. I personally do not buy properties at the bank at auctions. It's not my favorite place to play it. All right, all right. I'm gonna answer my last question, and this is pass it on. Um, and yeah, nobody else who is asking a question on Insta, which is great. But I'm just gonna go on my last question here from Israel. Israel, how's it going? Welcome to Pass It On. And your question is, good evening, TJ. I'm currently working, but interested in your course, so I can have properties generating income. Yeah, do it. Let's come. Is your course flexible that I can come and learn at the same time? Maybe let's read that question again. Right. I'm currently working, but I'm interested in your courses so I can have properties generating income. Is your course flexible that I can work and learn at the same time? Oh yes, awesome. Yeah. So most of our courses are over a weekend. So if you are learning over the weekend, that's also great. But if you're not able to attend, let's say maybe you're working on the Sunday or the Saturday, then all of our courses are all recorded. So after that, you'll be able to view it, I should say, or learn at the leisure of your time. Awesome. Makes sense, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been great hanging out with you this evening. So thank you very much. Thank you very much on asking all your questions and giving out all the comments. I really appreciate. If there is any further questions or comments, I am going to respond to them, and we'll see them offline. But for tonight, it's been great hanging out with you. And for those of you that are coming through to the class, I am just going to drop the comment. So the guys that are on Insta, I'm just going to post that comment in there where you can buy your ticket so that you can come into class. And if you are on YouTube or on Facebook, I'm just going to hit you again with the class that we're going to be hosting on the 11th and then the 12th of December, where you can come in and learn deeper information about what I've been sharing with you for a full 2-day pack so that you can do it for yourself. And that link is called www.m5propertyaddicts.com/grow my business. God bless, and we will see you in the class. For now, happy investing. Cheers.